and it's something you feel inside, and you don't really know how to describe it, but it's there.
Well, the other thing I would suggest, too, is, which is actually what I did, is that I started this business at the same time as I had my other business. So I sort of did the transition thing. I had my own. I did advertising copy here in Denmark for international companies that needed copy in English because I was American. So I speak Danish fluently. I had a unique talent. So that was my regular business, and I was making good money doing that. And then with the book, once I published The Road to Power, that was also the start of this business, which I live on now, where I write books. I publish them here in Scandinavia, and they go out to the rest of the world, and I teaching, coaching, all the workshops and stuff I've done over the years. So, but I sort of had the two tracks going at the same time. And as this track grew, the other track I could cut down and cut down and cut down until I could stop that. So that's it's also maybe not making it too either or. I mean, if you have something that you're passionate about, you can do it once a week, or you can do it in the evenings, or you can do it on the weekends. That you can try to sort of test it out, so you sort of get your sea legs at it and see, as you say, if you have good energy and if you have money coming in from somewhere else, maybe you won't be so afraid and you'll be more free. So that's also a possibility. I mean, when you started the radio, did you drop everything else?
Yes, I did.
Ah, okay. Brave lady. Brave lady.
Yeah. Well, I actually, in all honesty, I was doing the matchmaking, and the matchmaking is what brought me to radio. So it fizzled out. I made a decision because it was just term I use is it was too fluffy, and I was getting, I was evolving, and it just didn't serve me. And
right.
Yeah, so I jumped
so you
in.
were really guided too. So in other words, I mean, I know you sort of well, and so I know you have had very serious challenges like I have, and that because we have the faith that we have, that we try all the time to align ourselves with the highest good that we can conceive of in every moment in time, that we're still here, Deborah.
Absolutely. We are. Because you know what it is, too? The radio, for you have your purpose of service. I really feel when we go within and we really connect and know the truth of who we are.
Right.
And embrace ourselves just as we are, and know that we're always going to learn something. We're always evolving, and that's part of living on the earth. So when we're in that sense or in that energy, we just the purpose of comes, and that's the service. I really feel service is what each person is here for. It's just that they have to find out what rings their bell, what makes them sing.
But also,
inside.
What you're saying too is then when you have that perspective, that's actually what I mean by being solution oriented. That even if you stumble and fall or make so-called mistakes, it's all part of the learning curve. You're because it's the soul evolution. It's your chosen pathway, that you know that everything that happens is somehow you are learning from it. It's teaching you. You're fine tuning. You're learning more about whatever it is. And I mean, now you have this huge radio network. I mean, you've built it out of nothing. And I also have my things that I have built, all the books I've written and the people that I have reached. So, and we just started one step at a time. So it's. I'm so grateful. I mean, the gratitude for this journey, it's been so amazing.
Right, I am as well. Even, some of the darkest times, you're not in gratitude that someone has left the earth, but you're in gratitude for having that person in your life and what you have, the strength that you have gathered from that horrendous experience. I mean, I like you, in much gratitude for some of the most simple things, but that's all part of knowing the power of gratitude.
Yes,
and it is quite powerful.
Yeah,
On a fun end of things, one of the chapters I liked was the power of no age.
Yeah.
Can you tell
Lots of people love that chapter. Actually, in Greece, to tell you a side story about the power of no age. Greece is one of the countries in Europe where this book has been extremely popular. It was so popular that the biggest fashion magazine in Greece, like Vogue, they ran that chapter, The Power of No Age, for women readers.
Yeah.
Well, it's a really interesting thing because if you what that chapter is about is that how much we are programmed from an early age to believe that at every age there's a certain way to be.
Yes.
And so the power of no age, if you just think for a moment the power of your mind, the power of your thoughts, if you actually didn't know how old you were, if you don't put a number to it, it's like, who would you be if you didn't know your age? It's a mind-boggling question. And for example, now I could say to the listeners, we'll do this as an experiment. If I say I'm 45, then immediately you have a certain idea about what I look like, where I am in my life journey, how old my kids are. I'm busy. I have a career. I probably have a husband. All that. And then if I said, but no, I'm not 45. I'm 55. Then your idea about me changes immediately. Okay, she's more mature. She's, her kids are older. She's more settled in her career. All that. And then if I say, oh no, I'm not 55. I'm 65. Immediately, your your whole idea about what I look like, what I do, how I am.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just think about it.
Yes, it's crazy, but that's society. Society has created that in these years of more of an advanced species. I remember one of the newscast they were young, and they were talking about a woman that got hurt, and she said she looked like she was probably in her late 20s, and she said the 68-year elderly woman was her. And I'm thinking, elderly at 68? Elderly to me, with working with elderly people at the nursing home with my in-laws, elderly to me is 80. And so here she is saying 68 was elderly. But it's what we are accustomed to or what we hear, just like with thinking about the things we did years ago. Back in the day, you weren't able to get an apartment with a child unless you were married. Well, now you can. Because we changed our thoughts. We evolved, and there were more people thinking that collective consciousness. And so we all kind of caught on to that and thought, okay, well, that's okay. Or you couldn't, it was poo-poo if you lived together without getting married. Now that's the norm.
Nobody thinks about it today.
Right, so that's what we need to do to change people.
Well, that's what I say, and to say we need a new script. We definitely need a new script because it's limitation thinking. It really is.
Exactly.
And the other thing, too, is that you could say that if you look at reality, if you look around at people, it's really misleading because if you look at somebody who's, say, 60 or 65 or 40 or 45, you have a wide range, if you actually look at their birth date, of some people who are very fit and very healthy and very, passionate, excited, strong life energy. And the same age group, you can have people who are frail, sick, so-called elderly seeming. So it doesn't match reality either. So you could also say that if you would say that the nature of reality is good. That's the sort of the premise of everything that I write in this book, and that all the good that we seek is already in existence, but what determines how much we experience of it is our thinking, how much in alignment are we with the good that we seek. And you could say that the aging thought is in alignment with the good that we seek. It's a limitation thinking that sort of separates us from the life force which is everywhere present.
Perfectly said. Yes. And this is the year of freedom and free of limitations. I feel that in my bones. Well,
Good.
we are...
Really? Tell me about that.
We are coming up on a break. And when we come back, I'd like for you to give us some examples of, you have a whole lot of exercises in this book that you can recommend. So, again, we're talking with Barbara Berger. If you'd like to hear more about Barbara, certainly pass the show along, but also go into the archives and listen to some of the former shows through the years because she has so much wisdom. So we will be back in a moment. Don't go away.
Experience different yet profound healing with Reconnective Healing. Includes yet expands beyond any and all known forms of energy healing. The Reconnective Healing spectrum is comprised of the full healing and evolutionary continuum of energy, light, and information. It allows for healings that are not just physical, not just mental, not just emotional, yet go beyond that to bring healing that includes the evolution of your very being and essence. Deborah Beauvais, trained and certified by world-renowned Dr. Eric Pearl, offers appointment hours at Seacock Family Chiropractic in Seacock, Massachusetts. For questions or to set up both distance or local sessions, call Deborah at 508-431-1959. Again, 508-431-1959. Or go to lovebyintuition.com. That's lovebyintuition.com.
Looking for a fun and relaxing getaway? Omega Rest and Rejuvenation Retreats are a great way to unwind and renew your spirit. Stroll through the garden, relax by the lake, or try a daily yoga or movement class. You can stretch your body, quiet your mind, and do as much or as little as you choose. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org.
Ever wonder what it's like to have your own radio show? Well, wonder no longer, because you can dip into the radio airwaves by being host for the day on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. It's a fabulous way to get your radio feet wet. It's an opportunity to market your business, modality, or book. Have a guest, mention a sponsor, and take callers. Or you may want to facilitate a lesson by going solo. It's up to you. Listeners can be online, mobile, in cars with Bluetooth, or listen through Amazon's Echo by asking, Alexa, play Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. For more details, go to dreamvision7radio.com and click on Host for the Day.
Are you searching for a way to help create global change? Dream Vision 7 Radio Network's vision is to have an eclectic group of radio hosts dedicated to educating, enlightening, and helping humankind with positive messages and tools that enhance lives using different modalities and programs. If you would like to join our team and help illuminate the universe, call Deborah at 508-226-1723 or Deborah at dreamvision7radio.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we are back. You're listening to the Love by Intuition show. You can hear it Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., and usually live shows are at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And sometimes we have a different special time for those that are in different countries. We want to honor them and not have them up until 3 o'clock in the morning. They need their sleep. So before we get into some of the exercises in the book that the listeners can try for themselves, I wanted to address the power spot, finding a power spot in nature. And that's really what spurred you into this most glorious book with what you've received. Now, share how someone can find a power spot out there in nature and then go to it.
Well, my experience has been really powerful around that. I found out just sort of by accident that first of all, I've discovered that if you go for a while in nature alone in silence, the first thing that happens actually is you really get overwhelmed by all the negative chatter in your head. It usually gets worse. You become much more aware of what's going on in your mind because nature, there's no thought. The trees are not thinking they're not mental like we are.